Anyone who plays yellow probably enjoys the sensation of wet socks. What up, my fellow tamers? My name's Ty, and today we are going to be talking about CoreTCG tournament that was hosted on June 19th. And no, we are not going to be talking about the winning decks of this tournament because who wants to know about winning decks? Today, we are actually going to be talking about my grade A losing deck that I played in this tournament. So, felt a little crazy, and I actually played a green control deck, but I used Sarismon and Nidhogg instead of your regular green control variants. But I still want to talk about my deck list and show you guys an idea because I think this deck is good. I don't think it's tier 1. I think it's good for everything else. To show you guys the deck I was running in the tournament, I'm using Digimon Card Dev. It's a great website if you ever want to build a deck or just look at cards and see what's going to work or not. I recommend using it. It's great. To start the deck list, we're going to actually talk about the Digitama that I have in the deck. So I run 4 of the Argomon, which is the inheritable of giving you a memory when it unsuspends during your unsuspend phase. Don't know why I finger quoted there, but it's a good Digitama. It's just going to gain you an extra memory, which resting your own Digimon is pretty common with Sarismon, so it's a good mix. It's a good match with it. And the last egg that I run is a Matsumon. This one is the inheritable is giving level 6 or higher plus 1,000. It came up a little bit. One thing I've noticed with BT-4 is your eggs really don't matter. It sounds weird, but when you're playing a Nidhogg, you'll understand what I mean. But we'll get into that a little later. So we're gonna run into the level 3s. So next I run 2 of the Argomon, and 2 of the Goblimon. I just ran those 2 because I didn't feel like switching out the sleeves, but I could have just ran 4 of one of them. It doesn't matter. They're the same card, different picture. It's just a vanilla 2-drop. So next card on the list is Terriermon. Terriermon is all turns, your opponents can't gain memory except from tamer effects. You do not understand how important this card is, especially in the meta now, and how everyone's playing yellow and everyone's playing purple. Both of those get really messed up when you play a Terriermon. It's just a great card to throw on board. In my personal opinion, in the meta now, I think it's a 3 of. I don't think it's a 4 of, but definitely you want a 2 to 3 in your deck minimum. Next, level 3 on the list is Tentomon. Tentomon is on play, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a green Digimon card, add it to your hand, otherwise place it on the bottom of the deck. It's practically Goblimon for green, so you're going to run it. A lot of people run it at 3 to 4. I put it at 2 for this. I would say when I used it, I always hit. I never bricked with it, but it's possible. I'm not running all green Digimon here, but I think running 3 of it's good. Probably better than 2, but I ran it at 2 for the tournament. Next one is Leilamon. Leilamon is the MVP. This is a great card. So pretty much on your turn, its inheritable is on your turn when this card is trashed due to activation with a Digiburst, you get to just add it back to your hand. So you can pretty much recycle this card repeatedly. So if you go all the way up into a Nidhogg, it goes right back in your hand, and then you can use it. It's nice. It's just a nice, keep it consistently, have a level 3 in your hand so you can evolve or Digivolve in your raising area. A lot of people run it at 2. I think 3 to 2 is good. I think if you run it at 4, you're going to see it too much. So I don't recommend running it at 4, but probably 2 to 3 is good. Because once it's on there once, you're just going to always keep getting it back in your hand. Next is the Palmon. Palmon, but this is not the promo Palmon. This is the starter deck Palmon. This one's inheritable is if you attack an opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gains 2,000 DP for the turn. So it's pretty much just a great way to control your deck or control the field because you're killing off a lot of your opponent's Digimon, which the whole idea of this deck is to control the board and and that card really helps with that. I think it's better than the Argamon, because the Argamon, it gives you plus 1,000 overall, but most of the time, especially with the idea of this deck, you're going to be attacking your opponent's Digimon. I think it was a better pick than the Argamon. No, it's Agumon. Better than the Agumon. I'm excited. That was bad. So that wraps up the level 3s. I run 14 level 3s. So next, we're going to get into the level 4s, and I run 12. So out of the 12, we have one Vegemon, because I had space for one more. I like running 12 level 4s. I think that's a good number, because you see it enough, and it doesn't, like, it's not too much. So I think 12 is always just a good standard number to run by. But that's just my personal opinion. But I had extra space. I needed to fill it. I didn't know if I could fill it with a blocker or Vegemon. Vegemon, it's just great because he's a play cost of 4. So if you're bricking and you can't get level 3, you're just going to throw him down. It's pretty cheap. Well, he's the cheapest level 4 in this deck. But overall, I could have run Roachmon instead, which he is a 3 cost to on play. But he's only 3,000. The reason I ran Vegemon is just in case I played the mirror match, because Nidhogg won't get rid of a Vegemon. Next, we're running Sarismon. We're going to run Argamon level 4 because we need more extra Digisorption for just if you're running Sarismon, you're going to run this guy. I run him at 3 because 3 is a good amount. You're going to see it enough, but you're not going to like oversee it. If that makes sense. I think it's came up when it needed to come up, so it did what it needed to do, or it has when I've play tested this deck. Spoiler, in the tournament, it did not do much. Next level 4, I'm running a Stingmon. Stingmon's inheritable. It's once per turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon, you gain a memory. This card goes extremely well with Palmon, because then your whole idea is I'm trying to control the board, so might as well try to gain some memory while controlling it. A lot of people run the Kabuterimon instead because it gets 1,000 for every suspended Digimon, but if you have the Palmon underneath it, you're most likely going to swing over everything when you're adding 2,000 to the mix. And then with the Stingmon, you'll gain the memory. That's kind of the idea. We're trying to control the board, and gaining memory while controlling the board is always a bonus. Next, we're running the new Kabuterimon card that came in the starter deck. This is a blocker that is a 1 to evolve. That's enough said. It's an amazing card because, one, you can evolve into a blocker quick, and if you had 2 level 3s on board, you can get into 2, and they put you at 1, you can get to 2 blockers, and that might save you the game. So I think running a 4 of this blocker is way better than running a 4 of the Woodmon, just because the Woodmon's a 2 to evolve. This is a 1 to evolve. Yeah, it might die most of the time, but it's 1,000 DP less. But I think that's well worth it for what you're trying to do with it. And you don't mind if you Digivolve over it because it was a cheap evolve. So that wraps up the level 4s. Now we're going to run into level 5s. So level 5s, we are running one of the restricted Argamon. His inheritable is you may play a level 3 suspended when you're attacking. It's a great card with Digisorption, so it's pretty much an evolve for free. But I understand why it's banned, because you can evolve into it for free, and there's no restrictions on its playing a level 3. Like, I think the Angel Woman for yellow, you have to have 3 or less security for it to do that, so there's a restriction. So I get why Argamon's banned, but I wish it wasn't, but you run it at 1. Next, we're going to run 4 of the Blossomon, which is the same thing as the Argamon without any inheritable. You're running Sarismon, you need Digisorption. In this deck, I have, so including Sarismon, there's about 12 cards that have Digisorption, so that's a lot to work with for Sarismon. So I think if you're running Sarismon, this is the correct amount of these type of cards, Digisorption cards you would need. Next level 5 is a Lillimon. This one's main is Digiburst 2, and then suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. I ran it at 1 because I only had 1. I think running it at 2 is pretty standard now when it comes into green. It's just it can suspend a blocker and end game. That never happened with me in the tournament, but I know the the ability of what this card can do, and I think it's great. I definitely am going to get another one so I can run it at 2. I think it's a 2 of in any green deck, but yeah. The next one is the Mega Kabuterimon from the starter deck. This one's inheritable. Is once per turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So it says trashes, so that means the security stack doesn't activate. So whatever is in security will not activate. It goes straight to trash. This and Sarismon is... Well, this card coming out was the main focus of why I wanted to make this deck, because if you use this with Sarismon, you pretty much can take out their board and remove their security. So the main idea with him is if you use him correctly, you should be able to take out all the security and never actually activate it, so nothing is ever in danger, which I think is... It's absolutely broken. I'm glad it's only once per turn, because if it wasn't, they'd instantly restrict it. But it's an amazing card. Do I think it's a 3 of? No. I think it's a good 2 of. I guess for the main focus of this deck, 3 or 4 of is, a good number, but I think it's better to have the 2 of the Lilimon and then 2 of the Mega Kabuterimon. I think they're a good combo. So that wraps up the level 5s. We run 9 level 5s, if I didn't specify that. But next we're going to run into the level 6s of the deck. So I run 4 of the Sarismon, which is his Digisorption 3. And on your turn, once per turn, you can suspend a Digimon for Digisorption skill, and you may suspend your opponents instead. So the idea of it is you can evolve into your guys and suspend their guys at the same time. And you're evolving for free, pretty much, every time you do this, or for 2. Because if you're evolving the Sarismon, it's for 2. And then if you combine the Sarismon with the Mega Kabuterimon, you can then take out their suspended Digimon and do a security check, technically. I think these two are an absolute great combo. They work really well together. It makes it a little hard because this one's a Digi-Evolution cost of 3 and this one's a 5. But if you do the Digisorption, it's technically 2. I think they work really well together. If they give you at least 3 memory, turn 2, you can get to him. You can get to Sarismon by turn 2. Next is Nidhogg. This card is absolutely amazing. It's a fantastic green card. It's going to be pretty much probably in every green deck for the future, in my opinion. But it's when Digivolving, Digiverse 4, and suspend all your opponent's Digimon 5,000 or less, and then place all suspended Digimon to the bottom of their owner's deck in any order, and trash all the Digi-Evolution cards. So the great thing about this card is it suspends everything 5,000 or less. But if anything was already suspended, it will then send that to the bottom of the deck. It's a great board wipe. If you play it right, you can take out their entire board, and then you have a 13 body on board. And they usually, if you wipe their board, they can't get rid of it next turn. So unless they play like a Gaia Force or something like that. But yeah, it's a fantastic card. I don't think it's ever a 4 of. I think it's a good 3 of, because I saw it enough. Because with green, you're evolving so much that you kind of cycle through your deck pretty quick. But yeah, I always saw when I needed it, so I think running a 3 of it is just right. Next, with BT-4, green got some level 7s, and I played all of them in this deck. So I played 2 of the Chaosmon, the rare one. This one has Piercing, and when Digivolving, unsuspend it, and then you can attack an opponent's Digimon. This effect allows you to attack unsuspended Digimon as well. So the idea of it is the idea of this card and what you can do with it is, so I'll do a hypothetical for both. So say you have Sarismon, you suspend something, you kill it, you trash the security, then if you wanted to, you can go into a Chaosmon and kill anything on their board, and then do Piercing. So you could do 2 checks in one turn with that combo, or you could do it with the Nidhogg. So you board wipe, and then they play maybe blockers or something like that, and you can swing with the Nidhogg, do a security check, and then if it survives, go into a Chaosmon, and then take out whatever on their board, and then do another security check. This Chaosmon just works extremely well with green. Yeah, it's green and black, but like the whole idea of what green does this meta in this set, this Chaosmon works extremely well with it, and it's also nice because it's pretty cheap. It says right here it's 20. It's not. It's like about like $5 at the most. So it's a great level 7, and if you're running green, you're gonna run this. It's that simple. Next one is Chaos Boulder Arm. This one evolves from green or yellow. And when Digivolving, activate this effect twice. One of your Digimon gets negative 7,000 DP for the turn, and then on deletion, you gain 3 memory. Am I certain this card really works well with green? I mean, it does. I mean, the reason why I ran one of it is because I wanted to make it if there was a situation where the other Chaosmon wasn't going to prevent me from losing next round, and this one would. I'd like to have one of it. And then when your opponent deletes it, you gain 3 memory, so it's kind of one of those, you're like, do I kill it? Do I just kind of leave it go? It's a good one to kind of stall a turn or two. Do I think it works really well with green? Yes and no. If you're running it in green, you're going to run it of 1. I don't think you're going to put any more into it. I think it's a good card. It's a good level 7, but yeah, that would be my viewpoint on that. Next, we're running the one of the hidden potential discovered. This one got restricted too. It just pretty much makes it so you can suspend one of your Digimon and Digivolve it for 5 or less. So you can unsuspend any one of your Digimon, and then pretty much the next evolution's free. So one play I did do in one turn is I did this, rested the Blossomon, went into the Nidhogg, wiped his board. He still had one guy on board, and I was at 1. Yeah, I was at 1. I used the hidden potential, rested my Blossomon, went into a Nidhogg, wiped the whole board for free. Then I went into a Chaosmon and killed the one thing he had left. So then I got rid of his entire board, and I only gave him 5 memory, which I would have gave him almost that anyway if I just would have went into the Nidhogg. So it was nice to be able to pretty much spend 11 memory and only pay for 6 of it. So it's a great card. I see why it's restricted, but wish it wasn't, but yeah. So next I run is Needle Spray. Again, there's a reason why I run Needle Spray more than Flower Cannon, and you're thinking, hey, Ty, Nidhogg works really well if everything's suspended, but most of the time they were not attacking me with a full board. And I'm very unlucky, so every time I would ever get a Flower Cannon security, they would either only have 1, or they've already done their big attack and the last one hit it. So I like this one better because its security skill is it activates its main effect, and then it goes into your hand. So then I get to use it next turn, and I think that's better, in my opinion, because then they know you have it in your hand, so then they're a little worried about theirs, and they're gonna... I just like it better because in my situations, a lot of times I get screwed. And Flower Cannon, I needed the Needle Spray because it would go back to my hand because I need it for next turn. And because I only run 2 of it, I'd like to you kind of get... If both of them are in security, you kind of get the effect of it 4 times. So I think that's a bonus. Last, I run 2 of the Mimis. This is pretty much your memory tamer of the deck. 3 memories kind of a mandatory in most decks. You're always going to run a memory tamer. This one is when you have a level 5 or higher, you get to either hatch another egg or bring it up from the raising area. This worked really well with Nidhogg because then I could... So this worked really well with Nidhogg because then if I was evolving, I evolved in my level 3 or my level 5, and I draw the card, it's a Nidhogg, and I need to clear the board, I could tap Mimi, raise the one I had in the raising area, and then use Nidhogg and wipe the board. It's a great card. I think Mimi is a mandatory in all green decks because it's just too good, and it really ramps up your speed of play and really can... It can win you games also because if you got a Mimi or 2 Mimis on board, you can swing with all your level 5s, and then to finish off the game, you can tap Mimi to raise one out of the raising area and swing with that to win game. It's just good. It's good. And I don't know why this website, just FYI, this website is terrible pricing. All of it's always wrong. So never actually go off of this number. Go on TCG Player and actually see how much all of these cost. But this is a pretty budget deck. I'm pretty sure you can get, if you don't play the Chaos Folder Arm, if you don't play this card, I'm pretty sure you can get this entire deck under $100 for sure. Possibly under, I'd say like $60. You could probably get this whole deck because these guys are $5. These guys are about 5. So 20, 15. Yeah, you could probably get it. I'm going to say right now, definitely under $100 you could play this deck. But I would say it's probably more around the $60, $70 range, around there. It's a good budget deck. Okay, so that was the deck list. So now we're going to actually break it down and talk about my matchups I played during the tournament. I'm going to be honest with you. I played 5 matches because after my 5th match, I realized I was not going to place. So I just kind of just stopped playing. Because usually this tournament lets you play 8 rounds. But I was like, I'm not going to place. What's the point in sitting here? So I'm just going to, call it a day. Yeah. So I went 2 and 3, which not positive. I wish I would have went positive, but it is what it is. It was my first official tournament. People I played were very into the game, is a good word. They were very you could tell they play a lot. They play this game a ton, and I love this game too. But so now I'm going to talk about each round and how I did and where I think this deck plays in the meta. Because the 2 and 5 record doesn't do it justice. I think this deck can be good, but do I think it's tier 1? No, not at all. No, this is I don't know what's under tier 1, 1.5, or let's say B tier. It's definitely a B tier deck. Like this could be top of the line B tier. So now we're going to talk about my matchups and what I played during the tournament. So the first game, I played a yellow War Greymon. And that game, I won. I won first 2 rounds. I beat him. They were pretty quick games. I think I finished the whole match in possibly 20, 30 minutes. They were quick games. I got the cards I needed, and the MVPs of that game were definitely Nidhogg and Terriermon. Both of them did me such a good. Like Terriermon slaughters yellow. It's a matter if they don't get rid of it. I don't know why they wouldn't, but if they don't get rid of it, it really halts their plays, and then they can't play their, I forget what it's called, I'll throw it on screen, but the card makes it so they trash one of their security, and then they gain 2 memory. This completely stops that. So Terriermon, that's why I was saying he's a must. Almost every deck that are top of the meta, you're going to need Terriermon, because he's going to stop them from doing, honestly, their main plays. So that game, I won first 2 rounds, and then we're going to move on to game 2. So game 2 of the tournament, I played yellow War Greymon. That one I went 2 and 1. So I won 2 games. So I won the first game, lost the second, and then won the third. MVPs of that one, 100% was Nidhogg, Terriermon again. And this one was the game, Hidden Potential Discovered really saved me. You know how I was talking about that play earlier? It was in that game. It made it so I can clear his board and then do security checks. It was just a great combo. Yeah, it was just a great combo, and it really won me the game, especially game 3. Won me that, and yeah, can't complain. Next game I played Shine Greymon deck, which it was pretty much a Shine War Greymon deck. Not the red Shine, the good one, the yellow one. And yeah, I lost both games in a row. He slaughtered me. This dude was good. The first 2 guys I played, they fell into my Nidhogg trap a lot. They would take out my security and they leave themselves unsuspended, and then I would just roll up a Nidhogg and take him out. This guy didn't, which this guy was a lot smarter, and he played the deck very well. But yeah, he didn't fall for my traps, and yeah, I just lost. And also a big part of why I lost is I wasn't seeing any level 5s. I only saw 3s and 6s. And I think a good tip I guess I could have did was I could have left him at 3 or 4 security, because he had a lot of those yellow tamers that gain you a memory. So he pretty much just shot himself up if I put him under 3. So, or 3 or under. So I think I could have probably left him at 4 until I was able to really swing through, or at least control his board, take out all his stuff, and then keep swinging. And that's all I could have really done different. And it was just bad hands, really. I think I could have put up a better fight if I would have got better hand. But, yeah, it is what it is. You lose some games, you win some games. How it goes. So game 4, I played a yellow War Greymon deck. If you're not seeing the trend here, is I played fucking yellow the entire time. And that's all I did. It was kind of annoying because I was kind of hoping to try other things against his deck. With his deck, try playing against other things, but I kind of expected to play a lot of yellow, but I didn't think I'd only play yellow. It is what it is, but this guy beat me first 2 rounds also. So this one, I made a lot of misplays. I'll be the first one to say it. I really screwed myself a ton of times in this. One, I gave him a lot of memory a lot of the times. Like, I would Nidhogg and only take out one thing. Why did I do that? Why didn't I just wait a turn? Or just wait till I could at least suspend something? That was probably the ones I messed up a lot. Also, at one point, I had him at 1 security, and he had a yellow War Gray in the raising area, and I didn't take out his 1 security, and then the next turn he just did his effect thing, took out all my stuff, and then just won game. Like, it was a really stupid play on my part. I probably should have taken his 1 security out, so then he couldn't have done his War Greymon trick, and hopefully I would have stalled for a turn, possibly won that round. But I don't know. If you can't tell, after my second loss in the row, I was kind of just being like, this is just how it is. So now we're getting into game 5. This is my last game of the tournament, and I actually played purple, which is great. I actually played purple Lady Digimon, which I did not realize how fucking ridiculous that card is. But oh my, I gave him 1 memory, and he managed to bring himself all the way up to 9 memory with all of his night raids and all his random shit, and he put stuff on board. He flooded the board really fast. I really think the reason why I lost those games against this guy, because he beat me 2 rounds. Boom. Reason I think I lost to him was, 1, I didn't get Terrymons at all, and that would have stopped him immediately. I don't think he would have been able to handle what my deck could have done if I would have had a Terriermon, because he's not like yellow. He can't just remove. So if I never attack with Terriermon, I think he would have a hell of a time getting rid of it, unless I don't think he was playing Hell's Gate, but if he was, I'm just saying, if I would have had Terriermon, I think I would have been at least more competitive against him. I got Terriermon like last turn of the game. I was like, really? Now I have you? What are you going to do for me now? I'm already at no security. He's going to win. So that was a breakdown of the CoreTCG tournament for me. Not my best showing, but I learned a lot, especially about this meta and how I need to prepare for things. Now, do I think Sarismon has a place? Now, do I think Sarismon has a place in BT-4? My answer is probably going to be, yeah, maybe. The fact that yellow can have a War Growlmon, do a Digiburst, take me down to 8,000, and then go into a slash and kill it, it can kill level 12s, or it can kill all level 6s without even attacking it. So do I think the build-up and what it takes to get a Sarismon out is worth all that? No. Reason being is yellow can literally wipe your board, so it's hard to use Sarismon because Sarismon is very piece reliant. He relies on getting the cards with Digisorption, and if you don't have multiple cards on field and they only got the Sarismon, it doesn't really work out very well. So kind of the moral of the story is Sarismon really doesn't have a real good hold against yellow, and I think yellow really slaughters Sarismon, and that's about all I played. So understanding that Sarismon kind of, if yellow being so good in this meta, Sarismon really doesn't have a place anymore. So I would say this deck is very B tier. I think it's good if you're playing against black. I think it can be good against purple. Green, I think it actually could do really well against a mirror match or just another green. I didn't play it against an Imperial Dramon, but I've played Sarismon last set against Imperial Dramon. And as long as you kind of halt it before it really gets too crazy, I think it can handle that as well. But pretty much the moral of all the story, the moral of this whole tournament for me was Sarismon did not do much for me, and Nidhogg reigned supreme. Nidhogg is great against yellow, and I think if you play around that and you use Nidhogg wisely, you can win games strictly with that card. It's too good, especially if you pair it up with a Leilamon. Also, you know, the one that gets trashed and goes back in your hand, you can kind of recycle and do it all over again. So when you play yellow, you got to use your hatch or use your raising area wisely. Bring it out only when you need it, because if you bring it out, it's going to probably get killed next turn. So yeah, yellow just being too good this meta, it's kind of, you have to pretty much want to play every deck, play around yellow, get your matchup against yellow, and then work on the other ones, because you're probably going to see yellow more than any other color. I think it's funny how like last BT1 or 1.5 meta, everyone like teched for Rookie Rush because it was such a big deal. And I think Rookie Rush is still good in this set, probably better than last time. And yet, I'm telling you, tech for yellow, because you'll probably see yellow way more. And the only way you can really tech for yellow and green is Terriermon. So I think 2 to 3 of Terriermon, absolute must. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up the whole event for me in the video. So if you stuck around this long and you enjoyed the content, give it a like, subscribe button if you're new, and you enjoyed Digimon, because it's a lot of fun to make videos about this game, because I could talk for hours about it, because it's just so much to break down, and it's just a good time. So I also, you can also add me on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/ or is it? How does the URL of Twitch work? I don't remember. It'll be down. Link will be down in the bio. I stream. I'm going to try to start streaming regularly on Tuesdays and occasionally on Fridays. Just depends on how the business is, but yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be. I'm not setting myself up for exactly every Tuesday 9:30, but if I do stream, it's gonna be probably on a Tuesday around 9:30, 10 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, if you like watching the game and want to watch me play it, maybe tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, it'd be fantastic. So yeah, add me down there, add me on, subscribe here, and yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Peace.